Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. This video is coming out just a little bit late, but I still wanted to do it. And this is, of course, my highlights from 2024. Whoa, almost forgot what year. For 2024. The first highlight of 2024 has got to be our trip to Tokyo. Yeah, this is our second time that we went to Tokyo. Got not only car content, but also went to Disney Sea, went to the Harry Potter Museum, or Harry Potter Studio, I should say. Did a couple of car things, a lot of food, a lot of eating of food. Tokyo, definitely one of my favorite places. When I first went there, I thought to myself, I'd love to retire there. Yeah, don't know if that'll actually happen, but we'll definitely go back to Japan, hopefully to different cities, towns, and maybe link up with other car enthusiasts that I know from the area. The next one, it happened right after coming back from Japan. It was pretty funny. Like, I had ordered the Moto Compacto November of 2023. And we went to Tokyo in March of 2024. While I was there, I got the email saying that the Moto Compacto was ready to pick up. I actually tricked Trin. She had no idea that I was buying this. Actually, pretty much no one knew that I was buying it. So when we were coming back to San Francisco, I told her that we needed to stop by the Honda dealership to pick up my new Honda, which got her to believe, because she had never heard of the Moto Compacto. She thought that, okay, I finally bought the Honda that I was looking for. I kept hinting that I was going to buy maybe a Prelude. Spoiler alert. When we went to the dealership, I actually told her to just wait there, that I'd pulled up next to her in my new Honda, and sure enough, I did. I pulled up in the Moto Compacto. Totally surprised her, and she had no idea what it was. She was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, it's been fun having the little Moto Compacto, look on people's faces when they see it. The next highlight for 2024 would be companies started sending me products to review. In 2024, I got a total of 4 items. I got 2 dash cams from 2 different companies. I also got some light bulbs from another one. And lastly, a company out of Australia that has car wash products. This is the first time that things were sent to me. I know a lot of my local YouTube friends get things sent to them. I never really thought to ask like how they went about it, but I found out quickly that the companies just reach out to you. And I think all 4 of them reached out through Instagram. Luckily, I didn't just like delete those messages. All right, another highlight, a pretty big one, I kind of mentioned already, was the Honda Prelude. That was something like, I think I was considering the Alfa Romeo Giulia. Actually, I should take a step back. I had sold my Fiat 500 Abarth, and I wanted to get a second car because I had pretty much just the Alfa Romeo 4C, and for the daily, Trin and I were using the CT200. So there was no other car like I had for years. I've always had something paired up with one or the other. But this was the first time where it was just down to one, pretty much the 4C and the CT as a daily. And so I was looking for something else, was considering the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the 2 liter. So the non-quadrifoglio. And then something hit me where I thought about the car I always wanted when I was in high school, which was the Honda Prelude. And then I went down a rabbit hole. And it made sense too, because I didn't want to seem like an Alfa Romeo fanboy and have like nothing but Alfa Romeos. And also, I would have had no stick shift car, no manual transmission. So I wanted to get a manual transmission. I wanted to get something I've never had before. So why not go with something that is kind of rare, and also something I wanted ever since I was a kid. So I was lucky enough to find a Honda Prelude with super low miles. I think it only had like 60 something thousand miles when I picked it up. One owner drove that back, like flew out on a Saturday morning, drove back same day all the way back to California. And that was a really fun trip, super fun drive, and really happy with the Honda Prelude. It's my first Honda in a long time, and definitely something I'm going to keep, just like the Alfa Romeo. It's a keeper for sure. The other highlight, it's more of a personal thing. I'm not going to go into detail, but I think it was a highlight for me when I was in between jobs for 2 months, and it just kind of like opened my eyes a lot to life, and like enjoying like the little things. And I remember during that time, I had plenty of opportunities to just work on my content. So that's when I started just doing little reviews on my own of items that I bought myself. I would also have time in the middle of the week to do things with my car, so I didn't have to wait for the weekend to like take my car to a shop. And then that's like when I rode my Moto Compacto a lot throughout the city that I live in. When I'd go drop off the Prelude to get like a piece of body work done, and then I'd ride the Moto Compacto home, and it was just like a lot of freedom that I had like during the middle of the day. At any given time during the middle of the week, I didn't have to worry about clocking in for a 9 to 5 for 8 weeks pretty much, or maybe a little bit more. So although it was in my personal life, it was something that I didn't think was gonna happen. Didn't think it was gonna happen this year, especially. But I took advantage of the time I had and really enjoyed it, just creating content and pretty much acting like a full time YouTuber for those 2 months. So that was definitely nice. Now I go to a lot of car events, but the one that stuck out for me wasn't necessarily that it was like the best cars or that it was like the best location or anything like that. I truly enjoy like all the car meets that I go to. Can't really say that I've been to like a bad one. But the one that I'm gonna bring up is one that stuck out to me, and it's just that it was different, and it was the wheels and watches. This event, the hosts were super kind enough to open up their space for this event and have free food, free ice cream, free coffee in a really, really nice setting. The thing that also stuck out was that not only did they encourage you to wear like a nice watch, but also to dress in all white. I know, like, thinking about it now, we hear about all white parties, and we think probably that rapper that I'm not going to mention. But at the time, that wasn't a thing. So during the summer, yeah, that was the wheels and watches thing was like actually really cool. Such a cool event. Got to hang out with some cool friends and got pretty much pampered. That one, yeah, just because it was unique, it was different, something I hadn't done before. Like I could say the same for example, the Hillsborough Drive, but the thing with the Hillsborough Drive is that I've done that before, and the only thing that really changes is like the route and where you go eat. But I that one's something that I think I might have mentioned in my last video. For 2024, on the other hand, the wheels and watches is definitely something as far as like a car event that stuck out as something different. On that same note, I could say the same about Car Week. Now, the reason why Car Week did stick out this year is that this is the first year that I spent multiple days in a row in Monterey. The whole experience of like being at a motel and driving around town from morning till night and editing right then and there in Monterey, not having to worry about driving all the way back to the Bay Area, back and forth. Jerry, which also stayed pretty much, yeah, all the same days. I think he stayed one extra day, but he stayed there as well. And like just the experience of being in Monterey, not having to worry about when you gotta go, when you have to come back, and being too tired. Like it was really nice, like just being right there in Monterey. I got lucky that the motel, although motel was overpriced for what it is, it wasn't too crazy. Like something that like I was breaking the bank with. So something that a car week enthusiast should definitely do is actually stay in Monterey. Okay, the next highlight is Spocom. Now, not Spocom the event per se, but this is the first time, and I tried like 2 other times to come in as someone from media, so like to get a media pass. And like, yeah, I know it comes off as like maybe like just a way to get in for free, but honestly, it felt nice because they do review your social media to see if you qualify. And I remember like 2 years back when they were like, no, it's not enough. Like, or I've been told that by others as well. Like, no, it's not your channel's not big enough. It was nice to hear that it was big enough. No, it was it was nice to finally get like some sort of recognition. You can come into our event as someone through media, and I know like others did too. It seemed like kind of like they were just giving them away this time compared to like the past. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just something I noticed a little bit more this time that I missed. But it was nice to get that recognition, get the media pass, go to Spocom, just experience it in a whole different light. Now, this other one is a shock to even my closest friends, people that are not even into cars. And that is when I bought my Tesla. I was even at to the point where like every time I'd have conversations with close friends, close family, and it'd always be like, nope, hybrid is the way to go. If you're talking commuter car, if you're talking about a car that will save you on gas, that the best ultimate car would be a hybrid. So shocker to me and to others and close friends is that I bought a Tesla Model 3. A couple of reasons why I went with this car. The first one is because of that whole in between job thing. When I switched jobs, I was no longer commuting together in the CTU with Trent. So I started commuting on my own and all the way to work. And we're talking about 120 miles back and forth. Now, 120 miles back and forth in a Honda Prelude or an Alfa Romeo 4C 4 days a week. And that's what I started off doing. And I started feeling pretty bad for like the cars because although they're a lot of fun to drive, that's not why I got them. They're not meant to be my commuter cars. I didn't want to put them through so many miles. Like maybe you watching, maybe you would want that. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're one of those people that cars are meant to be driven. But for me personally, that's not what I wanted. I wanted those cars to be the cars that I take to events, the weekend car, the car that like I only think about with fun, not with work. I needed to get a commuter car. The second reason is because I did not plan on getting a second car this year. If you do the math, right, I got the Prelude and the Tesla in the same year. I paid cash for the Prelude. So I didn't have the funds to go and buy a second car this year. So I had to finance the car. So I found out through one of my friends I worked at, you could get these Model 3s at a pretty decent price, used with low miles. And when I did the math, I thought to myself, well, you know what? If I'm going to get another car that's good for commuting, that I don't have to worry about, it just made more sense for me to put that money towards an electric car where I didn't have to worry about maintenance and gas versus putting into another car and still having to pay gas. So basically, the money I was paying on monthly for the Alfa Romeo 4C and Prelude pays for the Tesla and then some. So if that makes sense, right? I pay X amount for a Tesla with some money left over, or keep driving the cars I have, or get another hybrid, but I'm still paying for gas and I'm paying for the finance. It wouldn't have made sense. So also, I got to spend a little bit of time in a Tesla Model 3 with friends and family, and I saw all the features, the safety features, and things like that. And it's actually a pretty cool car. I know like some of you will not like to hear that, but hey, if you haven't experienced it on a day-to-day basis like I have, I honestly enjoy the one pedal. Like I feel like I've kind of mastered it a little bit where I can push that car pretty hard and not even worry about the brakes. We can get into that some other time, but that was definitely a highlight for me and a shocker for not just me, but for really close friends and family. All right, speaking of friends and family, the last one is, of course, a big highlight for me is you guys, the people that watch, the people I bump into at car meets, my friends, and just the community is some of my favorite times out there. Is not just recording and editing when I get home, but also getting to catch up with people in the car community, with close friends, meeting new people. I really, really enjoy meeting y'all, talking with y'all, chatting on Instagram, and just being out there sharing a passion for the same thing. And it's also nice to see that the community is growing, meaning like you're not just seeing people have been doing this for years, but you're seeing youngsters come up with their cameras and really appreciating all the cars, the same cars I do, the same cars that people that have been doing this longer than me do. So it's just nice to see that the community keeps growing and it's not slowing down. So anyways, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Looking forward to 2025. Don't know what's going to happen. Don't think I'll buy another car. Maybe, I don't know. but we'll definitely see what the future brings. But here we are. Happy New Year. Take care.